Everyone. My name is Vignesh, and I'm going to explain about my thesis. The topic is evaluating the effectiveness of browser integrated defenses against drive-by download attacks. So, coming on to the first slide, that is abstract. So, in short, this research examines the performance of built-in performance defenses such as safe browsing filters, sandboxing, and enhanced security modes. In preventing drive-by-download attacks, I conducted experiments and controlled environments to measure how effective these mechanisms are, and the results can help guide both user choices and future security improvements. And the next slide would be the introduction part. So basically, a drive-by-download attack happens when malicious code is downloaded onto a user's device without their consent. Often by simply visiting a compromised website, browsers are our first line of defense, but their effectiveness varies depending on security features, updates, and configurations. So moving on to the next slide, that is a research gap. While there has been prior um, work on malware detection and browser security, most studies either focus on standalone antivirus software or external detection tools. There is limited research specifically comparing the built-in defense of modern browsers under realistic attack conditions. That's the gap my study aims to fill. So, moving on to the next slide, that is a research question and objectives. Um, the main research question is how effective are browser integrated defenses against drive-by-download attacks? So, the objectives are such as simulate DBT payload. Um, the next would be test performance against simulated attacks or analyze which configurations offer the best protection. So the next slide would be about the significance. This research is significant because users often rely solely on browser security without realizing its limitations. Understanding which browsers and settings offer the strongest defense can help the individuals, organizations, and even browser developers enhance protection against these stealthy threats. The next slide would be about the methodology overview. I use an experimental setup where different browsers we tested in various modes, standard, private, and with security features enabled. Simulated drive-by-download attacks were performed in a controlled lab environment to avoid real-world harm, and detection prevention rates were recorded. So the next slide would be about the tools and setup. The key tools included a virtualized testing environment, malicious payload simulation frameworks, and popular browsers such as Chrome, Firefox, and Microsoft Edge. Using VMs, we ensured that any infection would be contained and that the test would be repeatedly reliably. The next slide would be the browser modes explained. So standard mode refers to the default settings a user gets. Installation. Private or incognito mode provides more privacy but doesn't necessarily enhance security. Enhanced or hardened modes enable stricter protection such as blocking certain scripts or isolating processes. The next slide would be the results as a table summary. So here is a summary of the results. As you see, there's a clear difference in detection and prevention rates across browsers and modes. Hardened configurations perform better while standard and private modes sometimes fail to block certain payloads. So coming on to the next slide, that is the results chart summary. This chart visualizes the results, making it easier to see patterns. Chrome's enhanced mode led to the detection rates, while some browsers showed gaps even with advanced settings enabled. This next slide would be about the discussion. The findings suggest that the file integrated defenses have improved over the years. They're not foolproof. Enhanced security modes offer significantly better protection, but many users do not enable these features by default. This raises questions about usability versus security trade-offs. And coming on to the next slide is conclusion. So in conclusion, browser interior defenses can effectively block many driver download attempts, but the effectiveness depends heavily on configuration. Users who enable advanced security settings enjoy much stronger protection. Next comes the future work. So future research could test a larger range of browsers, including mobile versions, or investigate how these defenses fare against security exploits. Another direction is exploring AI-driven detection mechanisms directly integrated into browsers. And these are the references which I've taken. Here I'm gonna complete my presentation. So next we would be looking into the execution part. So I'm gonna open and show what is being done, the execution part. So basically now I'm going to show how modern browsers such as Microsoft Edge and, for example, Microsoft Edge and Mozilla Firefox and Chrome respond to malicious scripts under various script configurations, including JavaScript disabling content, security, policy enforcement. So in the beginning, so let me start with the implementation part. So first I've saved it in local C and have saved the folder as dpt underscore test, and inside that we've got pages. So right now, so I've created a file called test1 as an HTML file. So let me open the code. Okay, so here is the code and HTML code, and so here I have commented the CSP enforcement, so where we'll be getting a pop-up into the browser. I'll just show it to you by compiling. So for this, basically, I need Python. So I'm gonna show it to you how I've compiled it. So over here, I've gone into the C drive and the folder dbt test, and inside that I've created a pages folder. Inside the pages folder, I have the HTML file running. So now I'm gonna run the local server, that is Python, and in the port number 8000. So I'm gonna compile, and here the port starts. So now I'm gonna check it in the Microsoft Edge. So now I'm going to compile this. So here it comes. So here's the pop-up message shown here. So this actually runs behind the backend, as now what indicates is now when attacker has started getting all the information about the users. So this is how the basic private hardware attack works. So now I'm going to show, so what are the, yeah, I'll just show it to you. So now the user can actually, he needs to enable the JavaScript in the debugger. So over here we need to go to the settings, and in settings find out the debug, and disable the JavaScript. So now we can just check by running it. So now we can see that the pop-up message, after reloading, the pop-up message didn't occur one. So that means, so now the user is safe and there's no need of, no, it doesn't work. So this is one of the security where user can get it. And next comes, okay, so in the code, if we uncomment the CSV file, even though, so I'm gonna compile it once again. And so after compiling it, let me show you. So after compiling, even though I'm not getting the pop-up message over here, so that means, so the user is safe right now. So this is the this is how a user can yeah, this is how a user can get his web browser, like, not like, so the malicious, so the attacker cannot easily hack the browser, so by mainly by enabling the JavaScript. So thank you. This is my project, what I've done. Thanks a lot.